Hello. Happy Friday. It's been a busy one. And I have a lot to do, so I'm going to try and stay actually busy tonight as well. So, hope you're all having a good start to the beginning of the weekend. But you know how that goes. Start over. Thanks, Buck. Just Buck, no Dandy. Now I have to know, is it the same person? Is it a different person? It's so hard to tell. I didn't even really get all this started yet, so bear with me for a handful of moments and we'll be good to go. John, you have guests? Put them to work. I have been. I absolutely have been. Nicole's dad has been doing, he already got my trike torn down, so I can get that off to powder coat next week. So we'll get that done. And, you know, but most of what I have to get done tonight, I feel like is going to be on the Porsche. That's the plan. So, speaking of, the vehicle resides here. We have a number of things to get done, including, including just about everything. I have the final foams here for it, so I need to take the tires off. While I'm at it, I feel like I'm going to go ahead and swap the wheels because I'm going to go with a different wheel because I decided to change up, well, not decided, I finally decided on a color option that I was going to go with for everything. So I'm going to go with the setup that matches that. So I guess we could kind of start with that. No. Did I grab the right parts today? I think I did. Half-brained it. It has been a really long day. So let me get this thing broken down here. Next week will be the big week, as we all know. As we all know. Do you know if Vanquish will get adult comp stance hats back soon? I don't know how soon, but yes, they will be back. They have been ordered. They are in production. I think that there was a delay on the supply of hats, but I believe that stuff's getting sorted and we should be in decent shape. But we're gonna get there. But like I was mentioning, well, you'll see here in a little bit that I've got a lot of parts of a certain color that are going to be going on this truck tonight. And that means you'll start to see, possibly be able to guess the direction of the livery, but I highly, highly, highly doubt it. Tom Begg, thank you, sir. Bay Jack, thank you. Bay Jack. Huh. Heard you pronounce it differently every time starting at Phoenix 5 hours ago with my first watching of Flying Cars and rounding out with you. Well, hopefully you're in the home stretch and it's been enjoyable. Bayjack. Man, I never would have got Bayjack out of this. Interesting. Interesting. Pink Pig. You'll as soon as I start pulling parts out of the box, you'll start seeing the color, but I don't know that. Two best liquid death flavors got me on mango already. Let me tell you, that Armless Palmer is fantastic. Highly recommend the Armless Palmer. I love the mango chainsaw, Armless Palmer. The severed lime, also pretty decent. So, okay, we can start with assembling some wheels. That'll be much more low-key and relaxing. I can slow my roll a little bit. Half the time these things start, I only just got home. Ate dinner, was trying to take time to take a shower before I started. That didn't happen. So now we're just diving in. If I can start working on something slightly relaxing, I can slow down. What did you build the cage out of? The cage on the Porsche is built from 3/16 grade 5 titanium. So, the wheels are just gray. So that's not what that's not where the hint will come from. There is one of the beadlock rings. That is where you'll start seeing some color. Where is, oh, there's the rest of my scale hardware. Scale hardware 1, scale hardware 2. Just Buck, no Dandy. Thank you, sir. Buck Dandy does not cut his grass. His grass stays in a state of constant reverence to Buck Dandy. Oh my god. Did you get the chopper finished? No, not even remotely close. Still so much work to be done on it as well, which is terrifying. But I don't know. Hopefully I can get it done. I've got I've got parts here for it, 3D printed inserts for it. These are from SL3D, and these are for the Hyrax LPs. So we're gonna give those a shot. It'll be my third or fourth time trying 3D printed inserts, so we'll see. Maybe I'll like them this time. You never know. Blue. Blue is the color you're going to start seeing tonight. And then we'll then tie into the livery. What's up? Jake Honest, much appreciated. Thanks for the content and all the knowledge I've learned from you. STL Sundays have been more than helpful in figuring out Fusion 360. After Nationals, I can't tell you how much I did enjoy STL Sunday. So I feel like I've said it so many times in the past, like maybe I'll bring it back. After, you know what? I should just do a couple of episodes. Just for something fun. I can't do one this weekend, but next weekend is a stretch, probably bad timing. I need to next weekend is going to be my last thrash weekend before the event. Reading Rainbow Livery. Nope. Nobody. I don't know that I've seen anybody actually say the livery. Out of all the guesses that have happened, I don't think that I've seen anyone actually say it. So that is good. And not that I would tell you if you guessed it correctly. So Matt's livery and mine are related. Mine was chosen based off of his, and why I think that it's going to be funny. So, an Intro to Fusion 360 course by you would be clutch. I feel like it's one of those things. Like I feel like I don't know how I would be able to do I should. I mean, I really should. And it's one of those ones that I could probably enjoy putting together a edited video series, you know, like specific to RC. There's so much little things that I could, you know, like that isn't specific to RC when you're trying to learn that, you know, it'd just be nice to have the info that you need. Maybe I should do it. I just feel like I know so many people are overwhelmed by opening Fusion. And just the idea of CAD and learning a program like that. Because you do, when you open it up, it's just like, whoa, like where do I start? And I've been in so many programs like that. There's programs that I open up now and I'm just like, what is this thing? It's like, whoa, it's freaking scary. On the road to ECC, Billy Goodman. Well, hope you guys have a blast down there. It's hard to beat. Cherokee Rock Village, that part of the country or that particular venue, all things that are awesome. So Ciao, Josh just connected. Really love the Porsche. Rothman's livery? Nope. Not this livery is so far unrelated to anything you would typically think, except there was one example that I did find that was actually like really, really close. Almost exactly the same. I was like, okay. But you know. Ridge Wallet livery. What's happening, Toxic Crawlers? Alex Callie's in here. Thanks for joining us, Alex. Saw a bunch of mods. We had Alex, DK. I think I saw Dana in here. 36 wheels per screw. Sigh. There's something relaxing about it. Especially you get a good set of tools. You need to sit here and spin. This makes it all feel better. See, I'm already more relaxed than I was when I started. And I was super amped and talking too fast and yelling at all of you. You doing the new chair livery? No. I don't think the item that you've seen, I don't think that the item that I'll be basing this livery off of has ever been seen on my channel. So I'm almost positive. Now, Matt's livery, I'm almost positive that you have seen what his is based off of on my channel before. Normally you love the orange, maybe the Jägermeister. No orange. This one gonna be blue. Let's see. CAD is computer animated drafting. It is computer aided design. Close. Number 1 Bat Fan. Thank you. It's an interesting username. Found my first treasure hunt today. The two Reagan Express. I have one of those as well. My only treasure hunt. The only one that I have is that specific one. Kind of a crazy looking one. Cardboard aided design. That my second favorite CAD method is some cardboard aided design. Livestream takeover Inception liveries. Kind of. They did come from, mine at least came from something in Livestream takeover. So, okay. We got tires. Should have just grabbed another set of tires and left this one together, but oh well. Durax livery. Depends livery. Well, you definitely haven't seen that on my channel, but there's also Phoenix, another mod. I haven't seen, I think Moose Jaws was driving at the moment, and who knows where Ben is at tonight, if he's around. Toxic Crawlers, thank you, sir. Did you ever look at the Jada Toys donk? You need one. I don't think that I did. I have a Hot Wheels donk, but I don't know that I know anything about the Jada Toys one. Oh yeah, we gotta change foams. I almost just mounted it up. Jarrett Kennedy, thank you. Bought a Phoenix on Black Friday and I'm addicted to comps now. Thank you, Advantage, for great products. Hey, I'm right there with you on comp stuff though. It gets me so excited. Where? There they are. Foams. What do we got here? These are mediums. These are my softs. Do softs up front. Mediums in the rear. We're going to take that outer layer off. Okay. That. So the matte foam's up front. Tires already vented? Nope, they're not. I will vent later. I need to vent. I should just vent now. That should be enough. That should be enough support. Let's see. Do I have my tire punch in here? Nope. Scissors it is. Oh, I feel like I'm gonna sneeze. Nope. There's one. Do the other on this side. Little 1/8" hole on each side. We're good to go. CI mediums are rarer than the Loch Ness Monster these days. I bought these on Amazon, A-Main, sorry. They were in stock on A-Main. So, super easy for me to get my Crawler Innovations. I know Eddie over at Crawler Innovations as well, but sometimes it's just as easy to just pop into A-Main and get it ordered, get it on the way. Don't have to bother anybody. Alrighty. Just got back from A-Main. Well, aren't you just lucky? We had some of the Vanquish guys up there today, but not I. I sweating my ass off today, putting together some pallet racking in a completely safe and OSHA approved way. But it was so hot up that high, and I don't like to do manual labor. Let's make sure that we're seated. We are not. I'm just shoving it in there. I wish I could just visit A-Main. Yeah, that's I've been super lucky to live places where I felt like I had good hobby shops around me. And when I lived in Omaha, that's where I'm from, I had Hobbytown Hobbyplex, which was fantastic. You know, such a great store. And then when I moved to Kansas City, I lived closer to the Hobbytown on the north side of Kansas City. So that's the one that I would visit the most. And it was Hobbytown up on North Oak. But it was always a great store for me. There was guys who worked in there were good. The owner was Eric. He was awesome. And that was kind of like the hobby shop I was going to when I was learning RC. Like, I hadn't really been into it that long. I didn't know a lot. You know, I was really, because I got into RC after college. Because, you know, I didn't have any money before. When I got out of college, I got a got a big boy job, I could go in there and like buy something. I was like, oh. So I learned a lot from them. Gunner, get my meat in your mouth, Nissen. Thank you. Hello, everybody. Sitting at the lake after another after-work ride. Tonight's code, hashtag two-wheeled poser. Or hashtag family crammed into a house together loves together. I suggest hashtag two-wheeled poser. Go to satisfiedjerky.com. Save yourself 10% with that code. And you have to use the whole code, including the hashtag. Just so you know. Much appreciated, Gunner. I hope you're enjoying your motorcycle ride. Shit, why did I not check the bead again? I just put it in there and cinched it down. It's fun to get a big boy job money. I hope to get that eventually. You know, deciding to do the education side of things, Alex, for the better good of society was your first issue. You have to understand that society, we're all a lost cause in society. There we go. Thank you, Dana. I'll get that pinned. There we go. Pinned at the top. Hobbytown and North Oaks, my go-to as well. Yeah, and then after that, you know, I've obviously don't live there in Kansas City anymore. When I go back, I'm usually closer to the Hobby Haven on the south side of town. So that's the one I make it to the most often back there. But now out here in Sacramento, I've got RC Country and Fast Track both, which are really great. I shouldn't be allowed to have adult money. Tom Bajak, thank you. See, remembered it even though that name doesn't look anything like that. The Phoenix structures were much nicer than the SCX Pro I put together for my wife on Wednesday. Is the upper link position suggested in the instructions the best, or is there better heading to the X-Rock next week? You know, the front upper link position, or did you say front upper? Oh, it's a good area to be in. I don't know that it needs any changing. It's not something I ever change. At the upper link position on the rear axle is the only thing like maybe you can change some things here and there. So, more than anything, just leave it, drive it, and then if you want, you know, move it up, see if you notice a difference. It's probably going to be very minor. Any links to go through tonight? You know what? I think we're covered on that one tonight. I felt so bad for putting you guys all through that. But if I didn't do it, I wasn't going to get anything done. So, we just assembled this with soft foams. I don't want to forget what one this is, so I'm going to write on the inside of my wheel that this is a front, and then why not? I'm going to put, oh, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to highlight the F on the inside of the tire for front. See, it's silver now. Boom. So we got that done. Wheel number 2. It is time for now. Josh, have you ever tried anodizing some titanium yet? Not yet, but we're about to. That is my plan next week. Depending on how tonight goes, I may tear down the Porsche. I've got a number of things I've got to swap out, do this and that. So, you know, I've got to tear it down at some point, and it's either going to be tonight or next week. So why not? How are you going to anodize the Porsche? So titanium, you just use I'll have a tub of distilled water. I'll add like what is the, I'll make it into a solution that I believe I can use baking soda. There's a number of things you can use. I think you can, number of different types of things that you can add. Baking soda is usually one of the easiest ones. It's usually a household item. There's some better materials to use, but in reality, I just need to get it done. So I'll probably use baking soda, and then you'll use a anode and a cathode, if I remember science class. And I've got a voltage regulator. So you use this thing, set your voltage, all that, and just send it. Put it in there and it'll turn colors. You still cutting a hole in the trunk? Yep, still cutting a hole in the trunk. Still got to cut the rear deck off of the body itself. Yeah, could you use a charger? I don't think so, because it could see a short across, and I don't think that the charger would like that. What's the difference between anodizing and powder coating? It's a solid question. I don't know if I can give you the total technical, but powder coating, you're taking a powder and you're shooting it through a gun, and the gun has a charge, and then you've got the other side of the ground, I think you have going through the part, so it's attracted and it tries to cover evenly, and it's very durable. But you then have to take that and bake that powder till it gets hardened, but it adds a significant thickness to the part, and significant means different things to different people, but in the world of tolerances, it adds quite a lot. Anodizing, however, it basically doesn't add anything to the thickness of the parts within reason. So it's impregnating itself into the finish slightly, and I'm sure that there's ways that are much better described with much more correct terms, but you can machine a part and anodize it, and basically your tolerances will be unchanged. Outlaw Farmers RC, thank you very much. I'm so lucky that I work at Key City Hobby and Super Shafty. Being surrounded by so many team drivers, I'm able to learn some things best in the hobby. Shout out to the guys at ECC this weekend. Yeah, shout out to your friends there, Key City. Key City's another one of those big shops. They got a huge indoor crawling thing as well. It is crazy to see the number of shops that have like crawling specific stuff happening. So you could use a Dremel to cut that hole. You know what, Buck Dandy? I believe that I will. I believe I will. I'm going to go wild. Troy Givler. Thank you, Troy. Fellow Missourian. Josh, took your advice and purchased the Fatava 7 PXR and a life battery for it. What is the best way to charge that battery? Do I need to make a JST adapter? That is what I have done personally. Is I have a JST adapter for my charger. If there is a better way, I am not fully aware of it, but that is, I run a life pack in mine. I just charge it right off my regular one and run from there. Titans of CSC did a quick rundown of anodizing. I didn't think they did any anodizing in-house. Normally machine shops don't do a lot of anodizing in-house. It's just because it takes some just real nasty chemicals. Or did they do it on like anodizing titanium, which is a much easier process. But yeah, like normally you don't see anodizing done in too many machine shops because of what it takes and all the EPA constraints that go along with that. So, but titanium, you can do it with such simple things that it makes it a little bit easier. Gold and blue with a flat 4 seems like Subaru. It was titanium. Okay, that makes total sense. That makes total sense. Watching from Missouri myself. What part of Missouri? Look, it's important. It's important to know. Because listen, I'm from the KC side. So I can't support the St. Louis side. We have our internal state battles. Do you guys sub out your anodizing? Yes, we do. it's very nearby, which is excellent. So I'm in Ozark, but work in Springfield. That's fine. I'm fine with it. Love the Ozarks. I've spent a lot of times in both. Well, Ozark, Missouri. It isn't. I mean, it is in the Ozarks, but I don't say KC Mo or KCK. KC Mo. Flash some gang signs, Josh. DeSoto, Missouri, south of St. Louis. Oh, see, we're rivals already. You gotta get out of here. KCK is an imposter. I mean, it's like right there. Sometimes you're in it, you don't even know. It's the whole KCK, KCMO thing is mainly just annoying from when people don't know that. I mean, it's really not that annoying. Like, most people don't really care about the maps. KC is honestly better. Barbecue way better. Thank you. Kansas City barbecue is the best. Wisconsin says hi. Anytime I think of Wisconsin, I just think of Lil Wayne. No, T-Pain. T-Pain. Not Lil Wayne. Because he rhymed mansion with Wisconsin. And that is magic. And also, anytime I think of Wisconsin, I have to remember, is that the place with the cheese? I can't remember. Texas barbecue, best in the USA. This is the only reason people from Texas can say that is because the state's so big. They likely haven't left the state and understood how much better Kansas City barbecue is. I will. Listen, I'm not much for internet drama. I'm very non-confrontational in general. But I'll fight about barbecue. Right. Taking those outers off. Them's fighting words. After coloring the cage, you should laser etch porch on the roof tubes. Absolutely will not put porch on my Porsche. What tires are those? These are the Vanquish Falcon 4.19 inch RTs. Just fighting the foams to get them in there evenly. Springfield, Missouri Chinese is the best. Have you had good Texas barbecue? I've had it all over the country. And the swinging door outside of Houston makes barbecue you want to slap your mama. Listen, I've had good Texas barbecue before, but I cannot get on board with that dry ass Texas barbecue. I need sauce on the outside. Isn't Springfield where the Simpsons are from? Fun fact, I think every state has a Springfield. Or not, maybe it's not every state. Someone Google how many states have a Springfield. I think it's a lot of them. I'd venture to say most of them have a Springfield. I don't know why. I don't know that it's... Rhode Island does not. Okay, Paul. Where's Nicole tonight? 34 states have a Springfield. Nicole is... Hi, Emmett.
Hi.
You want to say hello? This is where Nicole is. She's spending time with Emmett.
Hi. Hi.
This is my nephew. This is...
You say hi to everybody?
Hi.
All right, let's go finish our movie. Look, Evan, you're on there.
There you... Hi, Nefson. See, there you go. That... Great timing, too. Where's Nicole? Let me tell you. What's up? Is it about... Nope, no Bud Light livery. There is blue. What's they watch? They were watching Avengers. That's what they were watching, at least previous to me starting this stream. But I don't know if that has ended or at what point that is. Run, nephew. Listen, he's got to do... We had trucks to run. We had... Weird that they aren't watching the stream. Is it, though? I feel like I may be less entertaining to them than the Avengers. I mean, they're probably watching now so that he can see himself. That would make sense. Seated? We're seated there. Can't tell if I am there. We'll try that. I like narwhal barbecues. Them and their matching narwhal shirts. They're working on their first diverging diamond now, and I already hate it. Maybe it's just the construction coming from work. I'll tell you what, construction phasing for building a diverging diamond, not easy. Because you have to build something that will eventually do this, but you have to build it like in halves, so you have to kind of do normal traffic, and it has to be able to cross. Then all of a sudden, right at the end, you go, ah! Like, finish the medians real quick and set it all up and turn the signal, traffic signals on. Makes it pretty interesting. You gotta have some pretty good planning in place. Did I put my stickers on? What stickers? Who else on the edge to see what Josh said? Went pretty easy. Let's make our silver F for front. Write it in the wheel as well, just in case. Now what we can also do is put our hubs in. They just opened their first diverging diamond in Florida in Boca Raton. If it can survive in Boca, should be good anyway, right? RC Underdog, thanks, Paul. Hey, Josh, I'm currently drowning in projects. So to relieve some stress, I'm going to get rid of the SCH-10 on my channel. Enough people join it. You know what? It's a great way to get rid of things. I would agree. I, just today, got rid of all of my... Not all, but pretty close to all of my 124 scale stuff. I kept the AX24, I kept the TRX4M, 1824, whatever you want to call it. Yeah. Pronounce Raton. Isn't it? Yeah. Boca Raton? What'd I say? That's what I'm saying, with all the retirees down there. Hopefully, if it can get her done there, you should be okay. if it's designed well, it just leads you into place. There is no like steering in. It's just you just drive. So all right. I said rattan? Oh. But, oh, Boca Raton. Oh, okay. Raton. I can see how I did that. That makes sense. Fronts are done. Now, onto the rears. Oh, wait. I only put one hub on. We're going to run some 225s on here because we have the ability to do that. Barry G, thank you. I'd love to see a super sarcastic and condescending video from Bird Reynolds explaining crowns, roundabouts, diamonds, and traffic circles. Oh. Josh, you being from KC, is it soda or pop? So I call KC home. I'm technically from Nebraska, small town in Nebraska. So I grew up with pop. Pop is the thing. But Nicole is born and raised Kansas City, and she kind of can meander everywhere. She'll even go with the whole Coke thing every once in a while. No Loctite, the wheels might beat you to the finish. No, I never do any Loctite on wheels. Not on hubs, definitely not on beadlock rings, anything like that. So never on that hardware. Yeah, we call everything Coke. Yeah, that's exactly it. That's every once in a while she'll get on that. 'Cause made in America. So these are the new Impacts. They're a really good looking wheel. Lots of depth. Of course, I put the Scarn beadlock rings on. But there's just a really good looking wheel with a lot of depth. They kind of had like that mesh feel almost. So I feel like they're still a really good choice for the Porsche. While I think that the 310s still look great, I think these are going to be greater. What small town in Nebraska? A very small town called Fort Calhoun. About 800 people just north of Omaha. Home of the world's smallest nuclear plant. Maybe it's the United States' smallest nuclear power plant. I don't know if it's still in operation. It might be decommissioned by now. I'm not 100% sure. Well, 799 people now. Don't those things explode? And they're not supposed to. Do I know Norfolk, Nebraska? I do. I've been there more than once. More than once. I had 39 people in my graduating high school class. I heard Southerners call it saddle water. Okay. I had more people in my row at graduation. But were you one of the 39 graduating? I was. I graduated near the top of my class. You know, in relative. There's not that many people, so y'all, you're not never that far from the top, right? But still. I am not terrible at schooling. I can learn it pretty well. It's a house of learned doctors. We go on riverboat gambling trips. There we go. All right. I don't remember the number that, but I was in the top 2% of around 500. I was like, I don't even think if you were the number one person, you were still in like the top 3%. There wasn't enough people to be in the top 2% of my class, of my graduating. Graduate. I always hung out with the rich, learned doctors at Okoboji. Yes, I did. One summer, my brother and I hung out with the granddaughters of the Wells Blue Bunny Empire. Josh, you need to stop at Hobby Lobby and get some small paint palettes. Make great parts trays. Ah. I mean, I have parts trays that are like right there. Sometimes I just like, I don't even. Did you really? I did. We did. The Wells girls. Blue Bunny livery? Do you know a good belted? Nope, that is not my. You got like go fast questions, not likely the place to ask them. Wells Blue Bunny, what is that? Is that that might be a Midwest thing only? It's like they make ice cream is what I know most of it from in the Midwest. But I think they made ice cream coming. Okay. Are you in the Midwest? I can't remember where you're at. I'm trying to think if that's only. Okay, but most of these people I know are never seen that around. Paul, you're on the East Coast. Phoenix, Blue Bunny is all over. Okay, so Phoenix, all right. I can say it's out this way. Oh, and you made a TRX6 go fast, but you don't know fast? Nope. Not like traditionally fast parts. Ah, you're close to the Sioux Falls area. Oh, you're right. You're right in there. You're right in the heartland. Wait, which Sioux Falls? Because isn't there... No, that's Sioux City. Sioux City, there's Sioux City, Iowa, Sioux City, Nebraska, and Sioux City, South Dakota. And they're all right next to each other. Never heard of it on the East Coast. Blue Bunny is in Tennessee. Okay. So everywhere that's not the Northeast, and it sounds like possibly the East in Tennessee. Only Blue Bunnies I know come out at Easter. Sioux City airport code is sucks. We got that crap in Minnesota. See, well, where we were hanging out was basically in Minnesota. Okoboji's right there on the Iowa-Minnesota line. Blue Bunny is in Ohio. Okay. And I think that the Blue Bunny world headquarters was based out of Lamar's, Iowa, which not far from where we were in Okoboji. Matt's checking in. Matt made some good progress on his Porsche today. Sent me some photos, making me feel pretty good about everything. But next week it's on. It's gonna get crazy town around here. This weekend I'll be out for a bit, so I won't have as much to get done this weekend, but won't stop me. See Blue Bunny in, or see it is everywhere. Maybe Paul doesn't go to the store very often, or maybe Paul only buys his favorite ice cream, which they probably do have Blue Bunny up there. They probably just make it with some sort of funny accent like Paul has. Okay. Throw that away. Doing mediums for the rear. We have Red Goose up here in Canada. Made by the same company. I wouldn't expect Matt to know if they did have such, plebe versions of ice cream anyway. I'm sure the name of the cow that the dairy came from is listed on the ice cream that Matt buys. This was made by Cindy. She was happy. It was a Wednesday. We asked her permission before gathering the milk for this ice cream. It's gluten-free ice cream. Yeah. I'm watching this show in the best way. Muted. He's just trying to remind himself of his childhood in the silent movie era. Who made your decals? Which decals? The ones that I'll be using for the livery. Those were made by Freaky Skins. FREQESKINZ. Freaky Skins. He's who does a lot of my graphic work for me. He's been a friend for a long time. There we go. Just fighting to make sure it's all in there. Those bigger foams make it a little bit more challenging at times. I do have to pick up my brother-in-law tonight when his flight comes in, but that's not for like another 5 hours. So I was just like, because it was delayed, because otherwise I was like gonna have to end the stream and then basically head out. But unlucky for him, I made a tasteful choice in wheels, unlike this ding dong. Hey, I could have gone even more bold and done a blue wheel with the other accent color as my ring, but I didn't. I decided to go with the muted gray, and just a hint of the color to tie it all together. Got it. All right. The dark gray and blue go so well together. They really do. Just looks so nice. Really. Oh, we got to mark it. This is a rear, so this should say RT. It does. So now we can make the R silver. Excellent. R. It's Eurovision. I'm not gonna say when, but I actually did see somebody guess. I did see somebody guess the theme earlier. I was like, oh wow, that was out of nowhere. Quite surprised. Quite. I looked at it and went, Didn't acknowledge it all. So, GoPro. No, remember, I said that my theme has never been seen on this channel. You've seen GoPros on this channel a lot. Chat goes quiet while everyone backtracks. I won't confirm it just because, like I said, I saw someone guess it and I went, alrighty then. I'm not exactly sure how Matt's going to do it yet, but I don't think he's going to show his theme in the last episode either. So I have a video next week. And then Matt will have one right before the event. And then you'll see both of ours at the event together. Because I'll do live, or I'll do, like updates from there. Welcome to Costco. I love it. I have not been to Costco on this stream. But you did see Costco with the Brondo theme. Did I vent this one yet? No. Right. Shop smart. Shop S-Mart. All right. We're cranking right along, and then I only have so much more to do. What was S-Mart from? Was that from Employee of the Month? Troy Givler, thank you, sir. Reef's Smart Servo or Direct Power Servo? Well, it's a good question. The Direct Power Servos, the nice thing about them is that they make their power at, some of them, if they're rated to 4S, then, you need to run 4S to get max power. If you don't run 4S, then you don't get that benefit. But if you do run 4S, you can get max power and you don't have to have a BEC or anything like that. Kind of a bonus. But with the smart servos, as long as you have a BEC that can handle it, you get the max power. All you got to do is set your BEC to it. Okay. Should I do a buy more theme for the TV show Chuck so I can have a big BM on the doors? I don't know that I know that TV show. Your beard grows out fast. Yeah, it does. It's a problem. It is unwieldy at times. Just making sure our foam is distributed well. There we go. Feeling good. Teen Wolf. Winter coat on. I tell you what, after I like go to the barber and get a haircut and a beard trim and stuff like that and walk out, if I have a long beard and I like walk outside, I'm like, my face is cold. Got a new hat today as well. You can see that. Less salt, blue waffles. I see you also were on the internet a lot in the early 2000s. Josh, did you put brass rings on the front? No, I did not. I don't know that I need to. I've got the brass knuckle weights already. So the mustache was quick to leave, so sad. And it's still there. I never trimmed it. So it's still quite long, but the beard just grew back so quick. You look at blue waffles nowadays, and it's just blue waffles kids will never know. Thank goodness. Like, you know what? Not everybody needs to go through what we went through. Like, huh. Sometimes when you think back at the things that we saw, like early days of the internet, live leak, all of those, I've seen something just unintentionally. I'm not the type to seek that stuff out, but somehow we still all saw it. If it had two subjects and it was and an object, it was going to ruin your life. Yeah. 20 minutes per photo. Oh, Chris Maxwell, that was the other one I was just like, you know what? I still don't really love lemons either. Lemons or a particular video regarding spinning. Oh, I blocked that one out, but it's back. Yeah. Josh, why no DeWalt tonight? I never use the DeWalt on beadlock screws. Beadlock screws, you know, they're fine hardware, and especially with scale hardware, I never use power tools on my wheels. Not that you couldn't, I just choose not to. Especially by the time you get everything lined up on this thing, and I can damn near spin these drivers just as fast with the, since they have the bearing cap, so they spin so easily. Same reason I don't use Loctite on beadlock screws. The late 2000s were a rough time. Girls couldn't even afford their own cups back then. They had to share. Yeah, I heard jars were expensive as well. People really tried to hang on to them. Didn't want someone else taking them, evidently. Okay. Enough of bringing back childhood trauma. We got our last tire to mount up, and then we can get on to, well, possibly disassembling some of the truck. Did I grab a motor plate? I don't know if I did. I think I may have forgot some things. Josh, do you think John Holes will ever make a 2-to-1 for the comp? Oh, 2-in-1. I do. I do think that he will. I'm hoping that he does, and I'm looking forward to that day, because I obviously run the Fusions, but I run them mainly because I feel like they're very convenient and they are still smooth, but they still lack things that I would really like some power. So if I could get one that had those benefits but had some power, I would be so much happier. He's talked about having a prototype. Did he talk about it? Yeah, okay. Well, if he did talk about it, good, because I know he's I know he's worked on one. I just don't know, what he had been saying out loud. But I do think that he'll come to market with one, and I have high hopes for it. $4,600 kV 2-in-1. Yeah. Just an absolute rocket. Let's see. I always use at least the aluminum rings within VP wheels. You're not? No. The performance difference between the plastic and aluminum, not really any reason to change them out. The only reason I change out at all is to go to brass, in case that I wanted, that I wanted some weight. Other than that, no, I always just run the plastic, because the plastic holds up great, keeps the wheel a little bit lighter. So it is my preference. I would rather keep my wheels light unless I'm trying to specifically add weight. And that would really only ever be in the front. There we go. So maybe you've noticed, but the last several streams, or here, so yeah, within the last several streams, Nicole and I have been drinking this Topo Chico hard seltzer. It's fantastic. We also got the margarita ones now. And while I can't do the smell or taste of any way of an actual margarita because of tequila, these are fantastic. Shotgun one for $10. No. Brought to you by, hello, Moose Jaw. What is the SLW? What is the SLW of a SLW hub? Are you asking what the SLW stands for? If so, it stands for super lightweight. It initially was made for the SLW wheels, which were a 2.2 wheel back in our comp crawling days, and they were kind of a game changer in those days. All aluminum wheels used to be super heavy in our market, and that if you're going after performance, that's not what you want generally. As much as people love adding a ton of brass to everything to try and make their trucks super heavy, if you really want like top performance, you will cut as much weight as possible and just add it where you need it to get the weight bias, how it's going to work best. So the SLW wheels changed everything, and they needed a hub. You double vented that tire, did I? Here and here. Oh, 4 vents. We're good. Nice catch. Nice catch. GC Coupe. Thank you, George. Much appreciated. Happy Friday. What was the new VP product released? It wasn't released because we had a small miscommunication and then had to delay on some hardware that was needed. So I chalked that one up to not my fault specifically, but a fault nonetheless. Have you ever torn tires where you vented them? Nope, never once. And I have been venting my tires like that for 10 years? 15 years? When will we see it? Hopefully Monday. Said hardware probably next week. Yes, Smoosh Jaw. I would, if it didn't show up today, I'm guessing next week. It probably showed up today. So that probably just means that they had to finish some packaging. Silly production issues. And Vanquish released the 2024 Tacoma. Didn't you see the internet today? I once wrapped a tire around a knuckle. It was wild. Now that I have absolutely done. That is, you either get a setup where you don't have you don't run a stiff enough foam. Then I've absolutely wrapped it around a knuckle before. An unfortunate incident when that happens. We used to run a tire made by Panther, if any of you guys remember that brand of RC products. And they had one called what were those popular tires called? The Leopards, I think is what they were. Panther Leopards, or Cougars. They were the Cougars. They also had the Leopards, but they weren't as popular. The Cougars were the popular ones, and they were so soft. And our foam options back then were less awesome. But I remember wrapping tires up quite a bit. Venting wheels running a comp with water on course adds too much inconsistency when water soaks foams. I ran courses with that, and unless you're running a crazy ton of wheel speed, I've never found that to be an issue. And even in events where I did have a lot of wheel speed, like the TTC stuff, still was the way to go. I would never sacrifice the performance on a comp truck for the just the convenience of sealed tires. Packing tape on the phone to keep them from ballooning. I've never done that. I don't know that I ever really remember my foam ballooning. Also, if you're running a closed cell foam, no, yeah, still no. I'm just putting these in because that way at some point I don't have to go hunting for all of them in the future. We'll put these, does Nicole know you like cougars? You know what? She was around at that time. She was around then. Maybe she came around then. I don't remember. Are you a G8 man? Yep. G8s are what I don't never, I've ran the Predators, but I've never found the Predator to be my preference. I ran them in some like really cold stuff and I thought like maybe it was okay. But in the end, I was just like, I'm just going to stay with my G8s. I think the only Predator, the only Predator I kind of liked was the 419 Hyrax. And it was just so much smaller that I don't feel like you noticed it as much. Phoenix is telling everybody they have to hit the like button. Listen to Phoenix. That's the rules. Tires and wheels are done. Joker 510714. Thank you, sir. Hi, all. It's Friday, and I'm happy to see you all in the chat. When's the next SAC event? Might make a trip up if I got time. Mount Diablo solo runs at the moment. There is an event this weekend. I think there's 2 events this weekend. One at Folsom on Saturday, one at Deer Creek on Sunday. I will not make it to either this time. And I'm not 100% sure when the following one will be, but I know that those exist. So if you're interested, put those in there. Okay, so now I've got shock stuff in here to build, which we might as well. It's just tedious work, which, oh, I've also got aluminum knuckles I've got to put on there. We'll see what we have time for. We'll see. Where is my short block? All right. So, thinking about building the Phoenix Portal flat rail would be the best fit. Ooh, oh, is Brazen in here? I haven't seen him yet. I'm telling you, the ATL is an easy build using the Phoenix stuff. I've built using the flat rail stuff. I built it using the RC Rock Pirate stuff and the Brazen stuff. Those are the only 2 that I've really done like direct swaps on. And the Brazen one was, I don't know if, I wouldn't say, I guess it's very similar. I don't know if it's necessarily easier or harder. It's very similar. And I liked that chassis. I liked working with that one. The RC Rock Pirates one also easy, has that kind of cool bed that drops right on, so that's a benefit as well. Something to consider. Don't diss the G-Speed. I don't mind the G-Speeds. They're not one that I would say is a great conversion chassis. I've built the G-Speed as well. I liked it okay. I just feel like there was a lot of things that could have been done better for the consumer instead of how they were done, which is just like, seems like the way that they have done it and they just kept carrying it over. They were nice when they're all set up. And companies have come in and filled the gap to make that an easier build. But I wouldn't say that there's anything about the G-Speed that I was just like, I like this better. I'm going to keep wanting to go this way. So, but you know, once they're together, drove just fine. I guess I've owned a few of them. I owned some of their older ones. I built one of their newer ones. I haven't built their very latest one though, which maybe I should do. Maybe I'll do that this summer. Throw one together. I can always throw one together and then just sell it. Be like, yeah, okay, I did that again. Now I remember. Now I'm done. Thought I got it. Nope. We're good. So, and where are my machined pistons? Joker 510714, almost missed it. Phoenix Direct Swap Artful Dodgers V2 or the Brazen ATL with slight modification. Yeah, the Artful Dodgers one definitely has some of like the best instructions and such as well. As far as ease goes, probably one of the absolute easiest, as it was like designed for it. Okay. And we need this. We need some tiny pliers. I ripped the handle on these pliers this week, and it's one of those things that it bugs me immensely. Because they're like the perfect size needle nose that they're not too long. So they're super handy for not having a lot of flex. You got good control over them. So I grabbed them a lot. Granted, they're probably like a $2 set of pliers that I've had for 10 years. So I should probably just find a good pair that has matching proportions. How many flat rails have you built since berating flat rail chassis? I will never stop berating them because they are not scale. But it's beside the point. If you're building them to not be scale, then there is no problem. But they're still silly and not scale. So to be building them for scale crawlers, I find you all very silly for it. But okay, got that. Let's find ourselves some green slime and a pick. RC Underdog just learned Tamaya makes an E-clip tool. Has been saving my life building shocks. So I have also heard of said E-clip tool, and I should probably I mean, I love buying stupid tools. Not even saying that one's stupid. I'm just saying, like, I'm always buying specific tools that have limited uses. I don't know why that one hasn't been in my purchase history already. Stop. Put my cartridge in. Lower cartridge washer. I covered the X-ring in green slime before sliding it over that shock shaft. Then we need one of the spacers. E-clip tool's cutting into Hot Wheels money. Get that X-ring good and slathered up. No such thing as too much green slime. Okay. Shoot. Let's see. Doesn't your class 1 have flat rails? Absolutely does. absolutely does. It's also a very silly build because it's a car and not an off-road truck. In general, the whole thing is absolutely ridiculous. Energy came out with a vice grip shock plier. Well, that's interesting. I normally try to avoid Integy, just in general, but I do have two Integy tools in my toolbox, and those are these. And these are bearing pullers. So this is a 5mm and a 6mm, and this is a 8, 10, 12. So you put it on the ID of your bearing, you tighten it down, it expands, and it grabs the so you can pull the bearing out. So as long as it's not a bottoming pocket, if it's a bottoming pocket, you can only use an 8 or a 5. But in those cases, these are very nice. Like if you ever had like that bearing stuck on the inside of your knuckle, then these are nice. And now we got to do the little snap rings. These are Nipix again. These are the J0s. They have an A0 that's got like a bent tip, but the J0 is the one I prefer. I've got the A0 at work. You can get these on Amazon. The 0 refers to the size. Of the tip. Just the tip. Just for a second. Just to see how it feels. There we go. So that's in. Before we miss it, we'll go ahead and put our machined preload collars on. Ah! Okay, there's that. Straight tip over bent tip. Got it. Size 0 tip is the size Josh prefers. Got it. just double checking these little things off the list here. I would prefer. No, I'm out. I'm done. So we got those on there. Now, one thing that I am going to do that does differ from what is currently on the car is I'm going to install some -5 rod ends. So I'm going to build these as a functional 85mm shock with the... Wait, I'm only going to do that in the front though. Yeah. The rear, I'm going to leave. So in the front, we have a rod end that looks about like that. However, it's 5mm shorter. This is a +5 rod end, so it adds 5mm to the length of your shock. But I'm going to be installing these, which will subtract 5mm from the length of your shock by offsetting that lower. So I'm doing that in the front just because I do want that ride height a little bit lower up there. In the rear, I don't need that because I've got a little bit more flexibility for installation on the angle. So I don't I have more room to get where I want without having to adjust this type of setup. Nipix 4411J0. These are the 4811J0. 8 to 13 millimeter, made in Germany. All right. And that, cut the lower off there. Okay. And lastly, we've got the caps. I do still need to fill shock oil. I'm a bit torn on weight of the oil still. I might wait on that. Get it? Wait. Until I've got the car final assembled. And I can kind of gauge final weight, shock angle, how things are going to feel. So I'll probably hold off on filling these up yet. Let's just hope that I remember to do it before we go running. You know, also I'd have to change the oil anyway for the altitude. You should always change your shock oil depending on the altitude you're running at, because the barometric pressure affects. I don't think that it. I don't even think. Oh, technically, could it? I guess technically it could make. No, it shouldn't. No. Just trying to think if there was any way that it even had some effect. Outlaw Farmers RC, thank you. Do you run a split in weight oil from front to rear? I run 40 in front, 70 in rear on my deluxe shocks. I have at times, if the angle of my shocks are drastically different, then I absolutely could. But if the angle of the shocks is pretty similar, front and rear, most of the time I won't change that. Not anymore. There's been times where I have, but. Okay. One down. Trace to go. So, drop that in there. We did do the tinitride shafts for the SADs, as well as the machined pistons and the hard anodized bodies. Figure we might as well make the shocks as blingy as the rest of the car, right? Even if blingy is not the right word, just extra. Make it as extra as the rest of the car. Okay, drop our X-ring in, the green slime, wiggle it all about. There we go. Spacer. Let's see. You're going to have to drive this with the pinky up. Yeah. That's no joke. Matt and I still have to coordinate our outfits. You know, color of our driving gloves. Even if it's, you know, I'm definitely going to need to have a latte in hand at all times, which isn't much of a stretch, but you know. Note to self, remind Josh to check his shock oil. Good call. Step Brothers theme. You have to call me Nighthawk. Okay, but only if you call me Dragon. Okay. Oh, I forgot the O-ring on the top of that cap. Get as much as a pain in the butt as they may seem, it's so much more like, I like the E-clip snap ring style cartridge so much more than the screw-on ones. Once you get the right set of pliers for them, they're just so much easier than threading in a cartridge and having to have this great big bulky lower section. O-rings on the pistons? I meant on the cap, not on the piston. Have to carry a Voss water. Remember when Voss used to be super fancy? Like $15 a bottle in the club. That's what everybody wanted to be drinking. Most expensive water ever. All right. There it is. Very bougie. Got it. You said that the SCX platform is becoming dated. What would you pick as a build platform these days instead? I mean, compared to an SCX, I think the VS410 is the one that I feel is much better. You know, you have a lot more suspension travel, just better, solid built overall. In comparison, I think that it's the better choice for sure. The SCX platform, the SCX2 platform, at least is what I was referring to, was one I always recommended. Now, if I was buying an SCX, I would buy the base camp. I think the base camp is the best SCX3 to buy, hands down. I prefer that in every way compared to the other style SCXs you can get currently. Go. So we're going to pull that cap back off, put the O-ring on since I forgot. There we go. Lick the O-ring first. It helps swell it, makes it seal better. All right. After we get these shocks built, I got two more. I need to put the aluminum knuckles on the front. And I've got a set of gears for the rear axles as well that I need to get installed. So much to do. At least those are both super quick items. Because we're an hour 40 into this stream now. What was that length measuring tool from the chopper video? That's a custom tool that was made at our shop. It's not one that's a item for sale. What wheels are you running on the Class 2 and Class 3 builds? Well, some solid questions there as well. Class 2 doesn't exist yet, really, other than in the current form. But if you watch on Wednesdays, maybe you saw it. If you don't watch on Wednesdays, maybe you haven't seen. But I got the new Proline Coyote body, and I plan to run this on my Class 2 because why not? We still have 2 weeks almost, like a week and days. So that, throw a new set of tires on there, new set of wheels, why not? Build a cage, build some bumpers. We'll see. We'll see. Oh boy. Makes me want to cry a little. But in the end, the only thing that matters is the Porsche getting done. So, if nothing else but the Porsche gets done, nothing else happens. And that's fine. Will there be a live stream while you and Matt are there? I don't know. It really depends. Usually, it's going to depend what the internet at the house is like because we got an Airbnb. So, it's all up in the air. Do I have another rebuild kit? Yes. Yes, I do. So there is a chance we could do it Friday night because we'll both be there on Friday. I got a new trash can in here under my desk that's much larger than my previous one. Oh, game changer. My last one was so small it would get full so quickly on a build like tonight. So we have so much to get done. But the Chopra, it's really like, when I start looking at stuff, I start, like, if it was just about getting trucks built that would, be capable trucks to drive, it'd be a non-issue. But it's getting all those scale points. With all the rigs you have, you don't have a Class 2 ready-ish to go? Kind of a serious question. It's a totally reasonable question. So I don't, because I don't usually build a truck to Sorca rules. The only time I do is when I'm going to an event like this. And the last time I went to an event like this was Nationals last year. And like many of the builds I do, I sell them. And I sold last year's. I do have other trucks that are built, but they're not scaled out yet either. Scaled out. To the rules of Sorca. So my plan is that I'm going to use my current truck that I use for local events, which is very stripped down, very few rules. As far as anything that resembles a Sorca rule. So it's basically, I have a truck that will drive under its own power. It doesn't have a winch. It doesn't have scale points. It doesn't have a bed or hardly any bumpers. So it's a cluster. It still means I have a lot of work to do. I watched you and John scale out stuff with craft foam in a few hours. You got this. And in the end, that's it could come down to that. Like, it could come down to that. And funny enough, that was also in Colorado. So I haven't talked to John in a bit. I don't know if he's going to be there. There we go. Velocity Addiction, good to see you again. When you're coaching Matt driving, yell at him to shake and bake. Just want to see his face. You know what? With how much I yell at him, I think he might just zone it out and he might just pass right over it. I mean, last year I told him no time to dilly, and he seemed to hang on to that, though, so maybe I'm wrong. There we go. So no -5 in the rear. Stay with our standard length. Have I seen a new John Wick? Nope. The drifting shooting scene was awesome. I have not. I don't really go to the theaters very often, mainly because I have Porsches to build. But I do love the John Wicks. So that's absolutely on the list. Casey Crawler, thank you. Is PLBTF really that good? Is it worth the 1,500 mile drive? If there's a single event in the US that is worth the drive, it's that one. It is that good for a number of reasons. The terrain itself is top notch. If you've never been there, it's a place that I can't suggest enough how great it is to drive on. It's just, it goes and goes and goes. So for that reason, absolutely. Reason number 2, it's an open event. There are no rules. So there's no questioning. You don't have to worry. Even though the rules of the other events are not very hard to understand, there's just no rules there at all. So just go there and have fun. The turnout is huge. So if you want to meet people and have fun and hang out and see all the builds and stuff like that, it's one of the best to do it at. I mean, I've been to not all the events, but a lot of them. And it's absolutely one of the best. So, yeah, it's worth it. Now, would I recommend flying? Yes. But the drive from KC, not that bad. Drive down. If you can make it to Albuquerque in one night, that's the key. Make it to Albuquerque in one night. It's a good long day. 12, 13 plus hours. Stay at the Route 66 casino on the west side of town. It's the way to go. Nice casino-ish, nice hotel, good prices. And you're right out of town. Then it's an easy drive to PLBTF the next day. Thomas Bielzik, thank you once again. Give a shout out to Lincoln. His dad is painting his first crawler body during the stream. Ooh. Congratulations, Lincoln. I hope that you picked the color. Make sure that he does a good job on the painting. Do some supervising. You deserve it. If I fly, I can't stop and play along the way. If I do, it'll be at least a 10-day trip. You know what? If you can take the time to do a 10-day trip, and the problem is there's not a lot of playing along the way. You drive across some pretty boring country to get out there. Like, Wichita. All right. See you in Amarillo. Is this where you almost drove off the cliff? No, I don't think so. When Josh meets someone new, I can't. I'm busy. I have a Porsche to build. Absolutely. Colorado and Utah. I guess you could. If you went out 70 and did Colorado into Utah and then drove south, that would be an absolutely epic little trip. That would be the way to go for sure. Because you come down to like the Four Corners area, I guess. Just the whole western slope of Colorado is so rad. And then drop it into Utah. Oh, it's amazing. Cedar City, St. George, Amarillo by more. Let me tell you how many times I've sung that to Nicole as we've driven through Amarillo. Nicole and I love a road trip. Absolutely. Want to go to Bean Hollow and crawl on Sunday? Listen, I will not be accepting. You could invite me to visit the Queen. Well, poor example these days. My example is dated. And not that I'd ever really been that interested in it. But there will be nothing I will be doing that I'm not absolutely obligated to do until Colorado. A good road trip is the best. Nicole and I, we value a good road trip. We've had some interesting events happen on road trips. We've enjoyed them. We've made some. I'll tell you one of Nicole's best traits, and that is, she can tell when we are beginning to annoy each other a lot. And what she's good at then is looking up some sort of attraction in the area to be like, hey, let's make a stop. We stopped and did this underwater cavern, longest underground waterway in the U.S. It was in like Ohio or Indiana or something like that, just along the way. And we were beginning to get on each other's nerves. And we're like, let's make a stop. Great little detour. I have some good pictures from that. Where the hell did my 1.5? That's right there. Got it. Don't worry. Thanks for the shout out. That made Lincoln's night. Well, hope you have a great one, Lincoln. Hope you enjoy your first crawler. All right, shock number trace is done. If you stop at the caddy hinge, there is usually a bag of spray cans in one of them. That's in Texas, if I'm not mistaken, right, Phoenix? Isn't there a different name for that? Or is that just at the Cadillac Ranch? Rarest car you've ever seen. Ooh. I mean, I went to Pebble Beach this year for the Concours d'Elegance. That's how fancy I am. I'm Pebble Beach fancy. No. I was able to get a free ticket because my neighbor, the coffee guy, is one of the guys who handles the coffee contract. So I got snuck in on a golf cart, but I did get a wristband and everything. So just saying. But, there's some of those like most rare cars in the world at that thing. And I don't even know that I really appreciate them properly. I know I don't. I'm just like, it's cool. Like, I understand that that's probably a, car that's worth tens and tens of millions of dollars. I don't like, yeah, I get it. But it's just like if you were to try and tell someone that this RC car is super crazy valuable because it was machined out of huge blocks of aluminum. In the end, they'd go, cool. Now what? Because, yeah. But to some of us, and I am a car person, but I don't know the heritage of blower Bentleys and, why this particular Bentley from the 20s is so much more worth so much more than this next one. But I would absolutely go to Pebble Beach again, because even being a uneducated plebe at most of that stuff, to get to see, it was like the 75th anniversary thing this year of that Ferrari had a big celebration of, and they had like one of all of the Ferrari models. So that was like the first time I had seen, I'm pretty sure it's the first time I'd ever seen an F40 in person. They had an F40, an F50, an Enzo, the FXX, so rad. 250 GTO, GTBs, and all of them. I was like, just to know that all of the cars that are so special from them were there. Is it in yet? There we go. There we go. They really get upset when you set your Jamba Juice on a fender. Like, chillax, bruh. Oh my god. Yeah, that was the they've got some people that are there, and they're really watching. Like, I can see that this person doesn't know that they shouldn't blink. No, don't touch that. Don't touch that. Get your hand off that. They know. They can spot us coming. But the cool thing, God, they also had all the Bugatti had a huge display there. So they had like the Chirons there, and whatever the other newer one they have coming up. I think they had Veyron SS there as well, older style. But that stuff was rad to see. Oh my god. Have I been to the Ford Museum in Old Town? Nope, I have not. My father-in-law has. I have not. Seen an F40 in person and how thin the paint is that you can feel the old style carbon fiber under the paint. I did not feel anything. I did look close. Like, oh yeah, look at all that. Okay. The next C1 should be a supercar. I do have a hell of a soft spot for Shelby Cobras. I feel like that could make a cool one. You know what I mean? Like, K-car. God. That one may not make the... It may be harder to find a 3D model of a K-car to modify than it would a Shelby. Even though there's a lot more of one than the other. Just saying. I feel like a Shelby Cobra could be so sick. All right. We have got our shocks done. I'm not a huge Ferrari fan, but visiting their museum in Maranello was a great experience. Absolutely could understand that. I also did the Peterson Automotive Museum last year. And I mean, seeing some of those cars was also just amazing. And so, do I need any of this? No. Throw that away. That's done. I don't need any of these. Keep that. Get rid of all this. New AC Cobra GT is so rad. The new one? I don't know anything about that. The RC Underdog. Thank you, Paul. Went to a concourse day in La Jolla. Most of the people there had shoes worth more than the truck I drove there. Yeah, right? Like, ooh. I rode in a Countach before. It was epic. I don't think I've ever ridden in like a supercar. I've ridden in a very nice Maserati, driven by someone who had never. I'll say that I was in San Francisco with my brother who lived there, and one of his friends showed up and was just like, "I just bought a car. Come look at it." Like, went out, saw it. It was a what was it? A Gran Turismo. So it's got the Ferrari engine in it, the whole deal, and it was literally this guy's first car ever. He was one of the founding members of Square, which is like that tap to pay thing or whatever, or the swipe, whatever it was. And he got like his stock options, and this was his very first car ever. And he drove it like so. Like, we were going through the tunnel, right, like for the Golden Gate Bridge, right before the Golden Gate Bridge. And you're just thinking, you're going to go through a tunnel right like this in this amazing car. And he like is getting on it, but he was shifting it like so, like you couldn't hear anything. I was just like, it's a total waste. Get out of the driver's seat. Fish built. Appreciate it. You built custom 4x4 from scratch. Would you ever build a street car from scratch? Frame rails, the works. It would be pretty cool to do. I've thought about it. Like, the only reason that like I don't know if I would is just I don't know that I would really ever find a way that I would enjoy driving it. Like, I put all the time into build a silly Porsche to go drive on rocks, because in the end, what I really love to do with RC cars is drive them on the rocks. So it's like, I don't know if I could ever get myself to build like just a cool custom RC street car. The other thing that I enjoy is like roll cages and metal bumpers and like that stuff. You wouldn't, I mean, I guess you could be doing a roll cage inside like a race car, but I don't know. You never had your car. Granny shifting, not double clutching like you should. One of the silliest lines. But yeah, I don't think Fam, who I work with, he's got a GTR, and it's turned up. It's a nice build on it. You know, it's like 700 horse, and that car will get it too. It's not a supercar. It's just a really rad car. So like, I've never done one of the track days where I got to drive a Lamborghini or anything like that. Yeah, I don't know. Okay, shocks are done. Shock parts there. We'll keep these things. And I'm going to But to do 100 mile per hour in a scratch build RC would be a huge accomplishment. And absolutely terrifying. Like the thought of that Porsche, or the hours that went into something else, and with how easily it would be to destroy it with a little bit of a wrong move. Nope. I can't even imagine. No oil, no shocks? Not yet. I'll fill with oil before the end, after I kind of have like my final weight and everything situated and I can kind of feel the truck. Then I'll decide what shock oil to put in them. That's my plan. So we have got to get that finished. Got to get the hole cut in the back. So I've got to get the hole cut. I've got to get this cut off. Got to get the clear coat on there. So much to do. Gotta get our windshield installed and attached. That was the word I was using. Some of those R35s will do 6 and 7 second quarter miles. Yes, some of them will. Those are ridiculous versions of them. But this one, still fast. But definitely not that. What'd you use for the windshield? I designed a windshield in CAD and I 3D printed a buck and then I sanded it to perfection. And then I vacuum formed it myself. And I vacuum formed one and sent it to Matt as well. Okay. So I gotta pop those knuckles off. Just opened a set of Proline Hyrex tires. What is that smell? I say I don't mind it. Nicole absolutely hates that smell. Hates it. Oh, so you made one for the Mooch too? Is there like a lip on the back side that keeps the window in? Yep, there's a lip that goes all the way around. Of course, the windshield itself has a lip around the back side as well. It'll take a little bit of just work to get it all to fit. And that's it. It's the mold release. It's actually not the mold release. It's the rubber itself. It's a natural rubber. And that's just the smell of it. If you're around the raw materials that are used for it, they just smell like that. The mold release is actually not much of a smell. The crazy thing is that you would think it would smell for longer, but it seems to wear away pretty quickly. That's why you would almost think that it was something like the mold release that you could wash off, but yeah. What about building a scratch built pre-runner like a UDR? That doesn't really interest me at all. Those kind of cars are kind of fun, but in the end, it's not a car I would drive. 3DK cars on Colts. Yes. Yeah. Why no brass up front? I literally just pulled the brass off up front. I'm putting aluminum knuckles on right now is what I'm doing. So the covers I will swap over. Next year, Chrysler minivan. I want 6-row seating. Wait, no, 3-row seating. So I thought you were swapping out. No, just swapping out the plastic portion for aluminum. Okay. So we can swap one Here's the knuckles. Hellcat Pacifica. Which one did I just take off? That one. With video screens in the back. I mean, if you're gonna do a minivan, you better go all out. Because what else is the point? I heard if you run out of electrical tape, you can lick the fresh tires. I forgot to put the lower bearing in first. I guess I could use my fancy bearing puller for this. So, talked about it, might as well use it. Lower bearing first, then the upper. All right. Back in place. These are those brass knuckles that I machined down. I do have a very narrow hub on here now. One thing I may still have to do is countersink these upper holes, which isn't done on here. I could probably do that right now even. Fine. Grab this. I can just grab a 9/64. Yeah, 9/64. Let's double check that sizing. Damn close. Just give it one good bite of rotation. Take that off. Let's check my engineering. Definitely not the right way to do things, folks. Got a little bit. It could use more. I'm afraid to go too much more, though, without a countersinking. We'll check if that clears. I should probably do that before we go too far. Are you going to make turbo blow-off sounds when driving it through? I mean, I feel like not much of a kid if you don't do that, right? You know what else I didn't do? Is I didn't put Loctite on this. I should probably do that as well. Oh, what else do I have? Oh, you know what? I know what I should do while we're at it. Yeah. Because if it doesn't make sounds, then what's the point? The turbos hanging out of the inner fenders are one of my favorite points. put a blow-off valve on my 3.5 twin turbo F-150 and love it setting off next to kids on the sidewalk. You know what? I could see that. I can understand that being a good time. I fully support you in your hooligan ways. Warning, pressure mouth. I'm pretty sure that I remember what I did here. Are you going to bed?
Night.
Good night.
Actually, I'm not because she said a time and.
How much time do you want to say good night to everybody here? Before you don't have to go yet.
And it was like a time and when it goes off, then that's when I go to bed.
I see.
There's 2 minutes left on his timer.
Do you have
and
2
want to
minutes?
use some of it to say goodnight to you.
Well, I will. We will
See you in the morning.
see you in the morning. Right. Yes, everyone can say goodnight to him. I'm sure they'll see that on the. I think I still have the stream analytics on the page out there, so they'll get to see that still. Swap that for that, and Emmett deserves a ripper. that'll be his college fund. I think that's a good plan. Oh, I'm dropping everything. All right. There we go. Good swap. The old Packard. Well, I don't know what we're talking. Wait, other people can see us? Right? Like, that's not allowed. We're gonna go spend some time at the lake this weekend. Well, Tahoe, the big lake. So, escape the heat for the 60s up in the mountains. Because that's a nice little retreat. Next YouTube series is the Scale News Update on Tuesday. But, yeah. Gonna do some fishing? I doubt it. I don't think we'll be there for long enough for that. Yeah, I haven't done any fishing in a long time. I need to go do some fishing. I quite enjoy fishing. Something that I don't do nearly often enough. My friend, the coffee guy, as you guys know him by, he's big into fishing. I should, amazing RC crawling in Tahoe. Yes, there is. Some of my favorite is up in that area. But we'll be eye on the prize. It'll be game time. So I will not be RCing this weekend. I don't know that it was like specifically requested, but at the same time, like, I think I would be the only one to be like, hey, this is fun, right? My father-in-law does have an Origin, so at least, you know, he's got that to drive. An original Origin. Although he did do the VFD swap on it. It's called fishing, not catching, for a reason. Get to the chopra, I know. Oh, Loctite. That's what I was going to do. We don't need a knuckle falling off in Colorado. I would be less than super stoked. Was that a glucose monitor on his arm? Yep, it is. Yep, that was a development in the last 6 months or so. So, yep, he's got a little monitor and I think he's got like a little pump or a pod thing. I don't know all of the details yet. I just know that they're very careful and they do a lot of calculating before meals and things like that. So, brass knuckles are illegal in Colorado. That is untrue, my friend. Are you going to put the brass on the rear as well? Not at this time. Once I get it together and, get a feel for it, if I think that it needs it, I'll add it. I don't believe that it will. This truck is probably a little too heavy already. So I don't think I'll be adding any more weight on purpose. I am swapping these brass out for a different set of brass that I did bring home. These were some blem units that I milled down the first time, and I've got another set here that are the proper ones, and I brought them home so long ago that I kind of forgot that I needed to do that until I was spinning it, and I went, oh yeah, I remember I did this on this set with the intention of then swapping them out later. Wasn't necessarily something I was going to do on live video, but what's that thing you're building after Colorado comp? What was it? I don't remember. A little late, but good evening. I see carbon fiber titanium in a flat four. Definitely a Porsche. Okay, so I can pitch these old ones because they're technically not right, and I did mean to check those. So you guys don't normally see that. I normally just do that off screen. You find out later. No bearing puller? I didn't need it on that one. That one was close enough. What's up, Gunner? Get my meat in your mouth. Listen, thank you. How many kits does your father-in-law need to build? There's probably some time for a kit or two, Gunner. He did already tear down the mini trike so that we can get that off to powder coating. I'm probably going to cheat and have him help with the Porsche next week as well. Because that will be helpful. I'm back from my fever dream. There we go. Matt, I'm just out here doing all the little tuning that I still left to be done that I haven't mentioned at all to you. What are your thoughts on the negative G platforms? I haven't really looked at a lot of the specifics. I've looked at them a couple of times and I was like, those are spendy. But that was kind of it. They looked fine. They looked very complete, but you know, beyond that, I didn't like see anything that made me want to like just dive after it. But they looked good still. You know, and again, I do like a complete setup. Rocky Mountain oysters. Tuning, like with the scale motor? I thought we didn't have carburetors. Yeah. I've seen people ask both Matt and I, like, you guys gonna get some drive time in on these before they're done? Like, no. No. Matt's Instagram stories today. You gonna tune on that? You gonna get any testing done? He's like, maybe on the, what do you say? The dining room table, the Airbnb? Sounds about right. Okay, so put that back in there. Gear is important. Getting close here. This will make me feel better about the front axle at least. I think I can kind of call it done at that point. I made the final cut on the body today. Yeah. So jealous that your body is at that point. That's a milestone. I've been just like dancing around getting that done, which is so silly, but just there. I got to get the windshield glued in, and I have to get it wet sanded. I have to get it glued in. And I have to get the whole thing clear coat. Josh, did you say you're jealous of Matt's body? He's got a runner's body. If I said you had a nice body, would you hold it against me? Okay. Didn't assemble the hex and such on this one yet, but it's okay. I have a swimmer's body. I keep it in a freezer. What does that mean? I get it. I get it. How goes the Peloton body? I haven't had time. I've been building Porsches. In all honesty. No time. Right after regionals, right back to it. Dedication more than ever. I got my 40th birthday coming up the end of July. I got to be ready in case I decide to trade Nicole in on a new one. Midlife crisis. Get my Corvette. So many things piling up after regionals. Yeah. CAD while you pedal. How hard is that? The problem is that I would die because if I did that, I'd just be there for 10 hours at a time. And then death. All right, so we have those things accomplished. I've got gears for the rear. I feel like we can get that. We can throw down on that guy. I don't remember. Have I showed you people? You people? The rear here. So this is a test print, not the final print, but that is the rear seat setup. goes back there, gives you a little peek into the engine compartment, and the body line will sit right back here. So it tucks underneath of there just a little bit. Time is it? 8:30. Well, I'll throw these gears in there. We'll be probably in decent shape. Now it's finally time for the power driver. All right, so I'm swapping out the rear gear set for the standard ratio, which will give me more overdrive. Just gonna take a glance at it, make sure. Nope, I did not change it before. I've done that before. So just making sure that this is the appropriate to put in there. The axles come with the overdrive set, front and rear. It's a little bit stronger gear set, just because the gears are more equally sized. So put that over there. But since I want the overdrive, I'm going to go ahead and go to the standard ratio in the rear. How do I... There it is. Keep losing that wrench. Put that over there. We're going to get these rear gears installed and probably call this stream a night. I've got, are the seats 3D printed? Yes, all the seats are 3D printed. I need to reprint the driver's seat finally, or one last time for the clearance of the bell crank. And that'll be about it for, I've already reprinted that top cover. I think I have it maybe in here, but not really concerned about getting that swapped until not really concerned about getting that swapped until it's, you know, time. And I've got to press in some magnets and some stuff like that. Josh, if last year's class 1 is for sale for $5K, what would the price of this match? Ooh. So last year's is sold, technically. I need to take it with me to Colorado to deliver. And I also have to do a tiny bit of work on it to finish it before then. Because it is currently not legal for class 1. So I need to make it legal. But as far as a price tag on this one, at this time, I can't really imagine what it would be. I just don't know. I don't know. Like, what it would take to convince me is more than it's probably worth. The rear shock mounts being visible on the last year's class 1, that is what is not, that's what makes it illegal. Is TGH in here? See someone referring to them. If they are, good evening, gentlemen. Just that. Drop that on. Back on the cover. So yeah, getting the last year's class 1 up to legal is the one of the other items on my to-do list. Hopefully a to-done list. I don't know. It means 10K. Not for sale. 100K priceless. Priceless. 1 mil. I don't value any of my personal things that much. It would be much easier to even in the not for sale range is much lower than that. Oh wait, no wait, yeah, much lower. The I don't know means okay, I don't know. It's I don't know money. Which would still be a bargain for how many hours I have into it. Okay, gears are in. That's another thing off the list. So this is a front. I do have to. I just realized something else. Not a big deal. Not a big deal at all. Just not even gonna talk about it. How much will Nicole's furniture cost? That's the price. Sometimes I do things that I can't believe are as dumb as they are. If someone offered me $15,000 for it, I'd let them take it today, and I would just go to Colorado and drink beer. I don't know if that's true. They could have it right after for sure. They could take it out of my hands as I drove through the last gate. If they paid cash. I can offer you that, but I can't pay it. There we go. Feels good. Not binding on anything other than the high amount of overdrive that I've got. But that's all I've got for tonight. That's all you all need. I probably didn't do anything that helped anybody tonight, but I got some stuff done. And that helped me. BeamNG, not a chance. I will still be working until 2 in the morning. There's no time for dillying. But I've got stuff to do in the garage. I've got stuff to do in here. Bounce back and forth. Maybe I'll cut the body tonight. I should just do that. Just get it out of the way. Just go get it done. do you soak your tires before mounting them up, say in like Simple Green to soften them up? Nope. That is not something I do or really have any desire or think that it needs it. Once I do get the body cut, I do have to make a couple of final welds. Probably add a real thin bar right back here so I get the crossbar behind the rear row. That's it. That's all I know. Body on white the wheels, please. Oh, with the wheels. Aha, body on with the wheels. Gotcha. It's a pretty solid look. There he goes. There's that. There's the windshield. It's not in place, but adding the windshield really makes it look like a thing. Porsche. All right. I'm calling it for the night. Hope you all have a great weekend. Hope you guys have some productive time. I need it. Are you going to put a person in there? I am, only for the tech and competition. And then that person will come back out. Skeletons, because they fit the rules. Heat their bones to bend them into position. Bones. Putting his feet up on the dash. Skeletons? Yes. If you want, you can borrow one of my weird anime girls. You need a Cutter. Cutter likes Porsches. So, yeah. That's what will live in there. That is the level of scale figure I am willing to produce. All right. You guys have a good night. We'll see you next time. Hit the like button on your way out.